Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing so well. Happy Friday and happy Vlogmas. I hope you guys are having a great day and I hope you have a great weekend. If you haven't caught on already, the mic is out and we're sitting here and the title says Tell Me More. If you're not familiar with Tell Me More or TMM, you can look it up on my channel. You'll get a whole list of videos that I used to do. But Tell Me More was a little talking segment that I had. It was my wannabe podcast, you can call it, where I sat and just talked to you guys heart to heart and talked about our experiences. And I used to get emails and stories of just what you guys were going through, and I would connect to them and be like, oh my gosh, I've been through the same, and things like that. So if you're interested, go check them out. They're really old, so please don't judge them. I was really excited when Vlogmas was around the corner because when I was thinking about content for this month, I was like, how am I going to fill up these days? I wish my life was interesting enough to do a vlog every single day. But one, I think it gets a little bit repetitive. And two, I just, I want to have as much fun this month if I'm posting almost every day. And I say almost because you guys will see very soon, I will not have a video on Saturdays, but Sunday through Friday, I'm all yours, baby. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys. I will be here every Friday to do a Tell Me More series. Please leave comments down below, whatever you guys want to talk about. I know I'm kind of springing this on you. I know I didn't kind of prep. I did ask for some questions for a Q&A, and I pulled out some questions that were kind of repetitive and asked often, and I feel like could be good topics to talk about. So I did pull some of those out, but I did leave a lot of good questions for my Q&A later on this month. I'm going to start with the first question and just kind of jump into the conversation. I don't want to bore you guys too much, but I will give you a heads up. If you guys aren't into chit-chatting, there won't be some movement in this video, so I'm going to let you know if it's not your cup of tea, you should leave right now. But I would love it if you stayed. I would love it if you can't do it right now and you have to come back too. That's okay. Whenever you're available, I'm here. I'm here for you. So please come back or do it in segments. Do it in 5-minute increments. I don't know. But the best time I would say is when you're getting ready on the way to work. If you're bored at work, if you're going to school, I don't know, but I would love it if you would stay or come back. But if you don't, that's okay too. It's fine. I'll move on. Anyways, first question, how are you feeling lately? Let's start with the basics here. How are you guys feeling lately? What's up? Does anyone have the holiday blues? Are you guys okay? I know that the world is a little crazy. Yeah, but let's try to keep it light. Personally for me, if I'm being really honest, I'm kind of back and forth. I have my really, really great days and I have my really, really bad days. And what I mean by that is it's not even bad in the sense where I'm like depressed, because I am a depressed galley. So I do get depressed quite easily. But it's not really depression for me. It's just a lot of heavy stuff that's going on in my family right now. My grandfather is very ill, and this is probably my first time sharing this, but he unfortunately has cancer, and we found out very recently. And it's been really hard because he's been declining pretty quickly. And, talking about it, wow, is going to make me tear up. So I'm not going to get into too much information about that. But with that being said, there's a lot of responsibilities as the eldest daughter in my immediate family. And my dad is the son, the only son in his family. And so with that just comes great responsibility with translations, learning about new things that I've never had to learn or deal with before. And, it's just the reality of life. And it's very sad. And it's sad that it's happening at such a quote unquote jolly time. So yeah, that's just been what's going on. So it's very hard. I also wanted to mention that in the case that I don't post as much as I want to this month if something does happen. So yeah, that's what's happening in my life. I'm okay for the most part. I'm trying to keep as positive, I'm trying to be as positive as possible. So yeah, that's what's kind of happening. But cancer's a bitch, and yeah, I don't want to dwell too much on the negatives of that because we are just trying to enjoy as much time as we have left with him. So I'm going to move on. We're going to go to a more lighter question and see what we have. Just a common question that was asked over and over again was relating to moving out and being alone. If you guys are really, really new here, I moved out of my parents' house for the first time ever when I was 30. Yes, 30. You heard me right. And so I've been on my own for a little while and I absolutely love it. But I will say, living with your family for 30 years, it does something to you. You know, you kind of get a little bit codependent as much as you think you're independent. And it wasn't a rude awakening, but it was definitely awakening being here on my own. And there were just kind of different aspects to it. So there's a bunch of questions that I'm going to try to go through. Let's see. How do you feel about living alone? Does it ever get too lonely? I love living alone. I do. I honestly fear that being alone in my own space now is making me even more of like a control freak though, because I'm like, everything's mine. Everything that is out here is made to be and made to look the way that I want it to look. And I'm like, I can't imagine someone coming in here and like ruining my feng shui, you know? So it's definitely, I love it. I have so much pride in everything I'm adding or taking out and what I'm doing with my space and just everything. I love everything about it. Loneliness though, yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Loneliness comes and goes. I will say, coming from being the oldest daughter and coming from a family who likes knowing a lot of your business, I do enjoy the peace and quiet, but it does get lonely. I do have moments, and it's only at nighttime, really, when it's a little bit too quiet. Yeah, that's when I get a little like, maybe being alone is a little bit sad and scary and just lonely. When I'm feeling lonely, I usually go to cleaning or watching a bunch of old movies, especially like the nostalgic ones, so that I feel like warm and fuzzy inside. Chugging along to more of the moving out questions, there's any feelings of regret or guilt after moving away from family? What's the best and worst thing about living on your own? I think I regretted it for like a split second when I first moved, like literally the first, no, not even, maybe like a month after I moved, I was like, oh my God, do I really need to be doing this? But looking back, it was just more so fear. Fear of what if I can't do this? Fear of what if I fail? Fear of what if something happens to me physically? You know, all these things, my security, my safety, all of the above. So yes, of course, regret is very normal, but it was also just me growing up. A lot of people get to experience moving out quite young or way before they're 30, at least once in their life, if not because they were going to dorm for school or if they were roommates with their friends or others, or you had to move states or, you know, all of the above. But coming from such a sheltered background and living with my family for so long, it's gonna naturally make me feel fearful and regretful, but I don't regret it at all. I think it was the best thing that happened to me, and I am truly healing myself from like the inside out. And just, I genuinely feel like, especially within this last month, something in me was very like, oh, I feel really peaceful. Like I feel like I'm finally getting a grip on who I really was supposed to be, or who I am supposed to be. The best thing about living alone truly is the smallest things, like silence. I love my mom, but my mom asks a lot of questions, like a lot of questions. She just likes knowing everything, everyone, all the details from beginning to end. So moving out and not having to answer these questions or being asked so many questions was very relieving. And I'm sure she's relieved too. She's like, thank God she's out of the house. Like now I don't have to worry about her. Now she's just gone and out of sight and doing her own thing. I know she keeps up with my videos and my vlogs, and I love her so much. And I totally understand why she does it, because more information is always better. But that woman, man. On the topic of what question I get the most, and one being, the living situation and moving out and all of that. Another topic I get asked a lot is just dating, because obviously that's just a very natural thing to ask about, but I feel like it's really common nowadays where a lot of women are not dating. I mean, a lot of people aren't dating, I feel like. One, I think it's because people are shitty, and that's not saying like I'm amazing, so people should date me. No, I think we're all equally getting shittier and shittier. I think that the people are getting too me focused, and I think it's becoming a personal cock block for everyone almost. Yeah, no, I don't know. Dating is hard, you guys. Dating is hard because I think people aren't truthful anymore, me included. And I'm very like not standoffish. What is that word that I'm looking for? I'm very like I have a very thick, high wall that takes a lot to break it down. I think it comes with age, especially knowing what I want and don't want anymore. So I'm like, the moment I meet a guy and I'm like, you're not my type, we're not going to get along, I'm like, we're not, like I'm like shutting the doors, but you shouldn't do that. So I know part of the dating is my fault, and I probably could do more. I could put myself out there more. I could be more flirty, but see, I don't want to do that. And some of them are great, but I just have not found my person. Are they out there? Maybe they're lost. Maybe I might not find them ever, but that's okay. And dating should not be like the center of your life anyways. That's coming from me. I thought I was going to get married at 21. I thought I was going to have kids by 23. And then I pushed it a little bit every time I got older. Dating and having a significant other is a luxury and an accessory, and not in a bad way, but life moves on. You still need a job. You still need to work your ass off. You still need to make a living, and having someone there to support you and love you is just an extra luxury. You get to spend your life with someone. I have not found that person, but that's okay. Is it really okay? I think so. If you had asked me maybe a few years ago, I would have been like, no, I'm kind of really sad about that. But I'm genuinely okay. Ever since being in my own space, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to share my space. I will when I find the right person, but until then, I'm not interested. But I love the way that this question was worded. It said, where is your headspace regarding healing and dating again? I don't know if you guys knew this, but I was in a very, very, very brief short relationship a few years ago. And I was dishonest with myself, and I think at the time I had just wanted it really, really badly. I knew in the back of my head that I didn't like him the way that I needed to. I didn't see a future, but I was just like, meh, why not? So I got into the relationship. It didn't work the way that I wanted it to. He was not right for me, and I don't think I was ever going to be right for him. And so with that, I kind of was like, oh my gosh, I don't trust myself anymore. Like, I truly need to find pure happiness in myself before I decide to go look for someone else, Like, I'm not going to break someone else apart, and I need them just as whole, I don't want to meet someone who is equally gonna settle. I need someone who knows what they want, sees that in me, and chooses me for it. So I've done a lot of healing since then. I think now the only problem is I don't have the energy to put myself out there. Not energy, I just don't want to. Because dating is scary. It's like really, really scary, you guys. Putting yourself out there, being honest, especially with people these days, they suck. I don't like it. It's scary. And I'm just truly just talking to talk, you guys. Like, if you are my friends, I say this all the time to Kim. I'm like, I'm so scared of dating. It is, what do you do? Dating apps? And I know everyone's like, oh my God, but this is how I met my person. I'm like, I'm so happy for you. I really am. I really am. But you're so lucky that that happened. And that time, in that moment, the universe said, God said, that is the moment you're going to find your person. That hasn't happened for me, okay? So until then, we're just going to disregard that. I will say, though, I think in a perfect world, I would love to meet someone organically. I'm so over the dating apps. I was on dating apps since I was like 20. I am 31 now, you guys. That is a long time. I haven't consecutively been on it, but the last time I was on it was so shitty. I was so turned off. So turned off. I haven't been back on. Sometimes I'll get on for fun, like it's a little game. But it was really bad the last time I was on there because I have not had any desire to get back on at all. But following that question, I wanted to highlight this question because I just thought it was really funny the way that she said it. Are you giving up on finding your future husband? I am not giving up. I am just really happy with where I'm at. I know that there's days, realistically, there are days where I have needs and days where I'm going to be sad because why don't I have a husband? Why don't I have a boyfriend who is here to hang out with me, to cook with me, to eat with me, and do all these things? That's very normal. That's human behavior. But at the end of the day, I still think that being alone and having a really nice peace of mind and nobody's bothering me is so nice too. If the chance comes up for me to find my future husband, then I'll meet my future husband. But that's not on me. That's not on my time. The amount of times I've gone on dates and it wasn't the person because it wasn't the time, it sucks, but it's true, you guys. If you're not in a relationship and you want to be in one, it's really true when they say your time will come. Because if it's really not your time, it's not your time. And it really sucks. But until you kind of like embody that, you're gonna hate it because you're like, that's stupid. I'm doing everything I can to put myself out there. I'm doing everything I can to go on dates and meet people and it's not working. But trust me, you're gonna wanna end up with the person that is right for you instead of these people that you have to like make it work with. You know what I mean? So I just wanna leave you with, I don't know what I'm leaving you with, but I'm leaving you with the fact that we're all going through it. We all know what it feels like, and you're not alone. You're really not alone. You're only alone if you choose to be alone. So don't choose to be alone. Choose to reach out, choose to connect, meet with people, meet with your friends. It doesn't even have to be new people. It can be anybody. And that goes for me too. I'm not saying this because I know better or I've experienced better. No, I'm saying this as this is a life lesson that I'm learning and constantly applying. So let's do better. Let's enjoy this last month because it is the new year in less than a month, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, since 2020. Wow, time has flown by, but yeah, we just need to keep our head above the water. That is the focus. I'm going to end with my last question being, what are you grateful for today? I specifically wanted to add this in at the end because after sharing about my grandfather, I do want to put it out there since these videos are kind of like personal video diaries to me. I am grateful for the fact that my grandpa immigrated to the US. He had a dream. He brought his whole family, and that's why I'm here today. And he's worked his ass off making it work for his family, and he has done everything he possibly can. I think when I first heard about him being sick, the first thing that flew into my head with everything going on was, wow, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, really. So I'm very grateful for all the hardship that he had to go through and everything that he had to do for his family. I have a different appreciation for him, I think, because as I've gotten older, I've noticed a lot more similarities between him and I, like between our characteristics and our personalities. And it makes me sad that I didn't get to appreciate it when I was younger, but that's just how life works, you know? So make sure you hug and tell your loved ones that you love them. I try to remind him as much as I can. So yeah, I'm very grateful for him. I'm so grateful for you guys. I truly would not be doing any of this if it wasn't for you guys. If it wasn't for you guys who clicked on my video, who like my video, who comment on my video, who follow me, and genuinely, like, I'm so grateful for you guys, seriously. Grateful for my friends. I'm so grateful for my best friend. I'm so grateful for Clemmy. I'm so grateful for my parents, my brother. all the people around me. I have a very small circle, but I'm grateful for each and every one of them. I truly am. And you guys are a very big part of that. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Tell Me More, this Vlogmas. Come back next Friday. We'll have another episode of Tell Me More. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to hear about in the next Tell Me More. Do you guys want me to invite any guests on to talk? What do you want to talk about? This is all about you guys and what you want to talk about. This was just an intro. So let me know. I'm excited to hear all about it. I love you guys, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.